Welcome to Hip Hop History with the Hip Hop Doc. Don't forget to subscribe. Also, check him out on Facebook and Instagram. His new book, Son of the Ghetto, can be purchased on Amazon right now. Like, share, and hit that notification bell for more videos. Thank you for watching. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of Hip Hop History, Origins, and Elements. My name is Dr. Derek Cologne. Today, I want to just talk to you from my heart. I want to entitle this A Message to My Haters. Let me talk to those that have expressed very clearly a hatred towards me and towards what I do. Now, there are those who would say, I don't hate Dr. Cologne. But see, actions speak louder than words. Now, some would say, but those are just troll channels. Yeah. But when we listen and watch the numerous videos that are made about me and the amount of name calling, and it's gotten worse as time has gone on, the kind of language that is used, the irresponsible behavior from people who call themselves grown-ups to speak the way that they are speaking in their content. There are whole channels just dedicated to me. And while I appreciate the love, I'm a little alarmed by the hatred, the vitriol, the internalized bias that is coming across out of their mouths. You know, the Bible says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And so, you know, you have people making very racially charged statements about New Yorkers, about Puerto Ricans. And then they'll say things like, but I got Puerto Rican friends. But see, the reality is it's out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth is speaking. So really what's in your heart is finally really just coming out. You have this hatred towards another group of people that were made in the image of God, which baffles my mind. So I want to speak to the haters today. And I want to just first of all say that I love you. I'm not mad at you. I'm not hating on you. I'm not going to allow this to dictate the way that I respond. I'm not going to react. I'm going to respond. Okay, so the first thing I want you to know is that I love you, right? And I know some of you, that's hard for you to hear, right? Because that's foreign to you. To have somebody that you consider your enemy tell you that they love you. And I love you in the love of Christ. So that's first, right? I'm not mad at you. I'm not hating on you. And I have been guilty of saying things in my video as a way of reaction. And that day is done. I'm not doing that no more. I'm simply going to respond to the numerous channels that have this hatred for me based around a conversation on hip hop culture. Okay, this whole idea of, the conversation, so there's no need to rehash it. But secondly, the thing I want you to know is that Everybody's reality when it comes to this topic is important. There are people that are going to have different views, different ways of seeing the story. And so until you sit with those people and hear what they are actually saying, and no longer just simply jumping on bandwagons, but listening to what is really being said, this is how healthy dialogue happens. We can't have a healthy, and I'm speaking to the hip hop community, the hip hop culture, whether that is Black Americans, whether that is New Yorkers, whether that is Caribbeans, whether that is my white brothers and sisters, whoever you are, if you consider yourself part of the hip hop culture, I'm speaking to you. There needs to be a way for us to sit down and reason together. Now, some would say, these guys don't want to reason. They just want to be right. Well, everybody wants to be right. Everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants their story to make sense. You got the Cool Herc camp. You got the Grandmaster Flash camp. You got the Bambaataa camp. You got the Breakout camp. You got the Disco King Mario camp. You got all these camps, and they all want to be first and they all want to be right. But nothing will get settled until we sit down together, all of us, and have a conversation, not an argument. But back to the haters who want to make me the face of trying to erase Black Americans from their quote unquote culture. Listen, you feel how you feel. And I can't fault you for that. That's how you feel. But there has to be a better way for you to communicate how you feel. Instead of, like, I just saw some recent videos where people are actually like angry and then just using racial slurs. But then in the next step saying, but I got plenty of Puerto Rican friends. How are your Puerto Rican friends going to feel when they see videos of you calling Puerto Rican people out of their names? That's not a good look. And we should be bigger than that. We should be better than that, right? We have to learn to talk to each other instead of talking at each other. So to my haters, you can continue to hate. That's not going to stop me from doing what I'm doing. And it's not going to force me to react to you. I'm not going to do that. Okay, you have your opinion and you have your way of expressing yourself. Do that. Enjoy yourself. Have a great time. But what I'm saying is, right, instead of being like children and exchanging insult for insult, let's be men and women and have a conversation. Have a conversation. Right? So there's plenty of people who have given me these titles, right? The Latino, the colonizer, the conquistador, Dr. Colon Cancer, all this kind of immature, trolling behavior from 12-year-old teenagers. Now, these are people who, I would assume are grown men, grown women, who have these this is the way they conversate. I'm not going to engage in that kind of conversation. If you want to have a serious conversation, we can. And the beauty of this is I actually got a call from somebody probably about a week ago, and I was put on another line. So we had a three-way going, and this is somebody who is part of the culture. And they heard me out. They listened to what I had to say. They objected, but then they listened. And at the end of it all, they came away saying, you know what? Cologne isn't wrong. He's not wrong. But people choose to check their brains at the door and just go on emotions, making videos out of their emotions, instead of really listening to what is being said. So, to those that want to continue, and there's numerous channels that have made content about me. And it's not been constructive content. It's been hateful content. It's been racially charged content. And I've tried my best to not get busy like that, because I understand at the end of the day, this is not that serious. Okay, this is not that serious. Your houses are not being taken away from you. You still have hot water. You still have electricity. You still have AC. You still have your health. You still have all your faculties. So this is not really that serious. But it is important that we have a conversation about this history. And I'm wondering if people are just upset because they're saying, how dare a Puerto Rican man try to tell anyone about what you consider to be Black American history? Well, this is where I beg to differ. It is American history, no doubt. It is American history. And it is definitely part of the American story. But it is not solely Black American history. It is urban American history. So anyway, to my haters, right? The two things I wanted to share. First, I love you. I love you. And I say that from a heart as a Christian. I love you. Secondly, I challenge you to be able to sit down and reason together. Let's sit at the table of brotherhood. Despite our differences in what we feel the story should be, and have a conversation instead of hurling insults, name calling, and those kind of things that really get us nowhere. That's my challenge. Let's have a conversation. Let's hear everybody out, and let's come to an agreement, because at the end of the day, we're not winning. We're losing, right? Nobody wins when this kind of stuff happens. We all lose. So we can fight about being right, but we lost the war, right? We won the battle, but we lost the war, right? It's about hearing everybody's story. I end with this little analogy. You have the 4 gospel stories in the Bible. And you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And all of them are seeing this: the gospel according to Matthew, the gospel according to Mark, the gospel according to Luke, the gospel according to John. So each one of them are reporting the story as they saw it. And some of them are not including things that others did include. Does that mean they're lying or they're lying? No. It's simply who are they talking to? They are speaking to a specific audience. Each one of those writers is writing to a specific audience. So when we tell the story of hip hop, it depends on who we're telling it to. Right? I don't have to get into all the gravy details if I'm talking to somebody about a specific thing. But then you hear that conversation and you say, but he didn't include this, so he's lying. He didn't include this person, or he didn't include that person. This story is so immense that sometimes you're going to miss people, not on purpose. It just happens. So the message to my haters is, you can continue to name call, to have hate in your heart, which is so evident. I don't know how you live with that much hate for another group of people. But for this hate in your heart, like, the challenge is this. Put that down for a minute. Put away your bias, your hatred, and look at the story for what it is. Especially if you were not there. Especially if you're not from the Bronx. Especially if you're listening to other people tell the story who are from the Bronx. Everybody's going to have a different story, even among the African American pioneers. They are going to have different stories, and they're going to argue about things. I say let that day be done. Let the name calling stop. Let's talk to each other and not at each other. This is my message to my haters. I love you, but let's sit down and let's have a conversation about this. Put away the name calling. We're not children. Let's behave like men and women and have a conversation and agree to disagree agreeably. Grace and peace. Love you guys. I'll talk to you in the next episode. One love.
You have been listening to Hip Hop History with the Hip Hop Doc. Don't forget to subscribe. Grace and peace.